Bitcoin has been up and down like a yo-yo, and it went up to 125. I know one professional who was saying it's going to 180, and so everybody was jumping on it. It was sort of like a joyride. A couple days ago, something that caught my attention on Bitcoin, and so let's go there.
Sure.
This is Tom DeMark trendline by connecting the most recent swing low or cycle low to the last most recent swing low or cycle low, projecting it out into the future. That's a Tom DeMark demand line. And so how I do a price measurement is I measure from the head down to the neck or collar line, and then I make a copy of it, and I project that down like that. And then what I do is I figure out where that price takes us to. And so according to this is the weekly chart, and this is the price measurement. According to this, we're going down to
sub 40.
35,000. That's a long way down from 125,000.
This is the weekly chart. That is quite a ways. Absolutely.
So a lot of people will be buying Bitcoin who are not in the know. They're not paying attention to the weekly chart. They might be paying attention to
the minute or the hour.
So let's go down to the minute chart or the 5-minute chart. And on Friday, we were going up on Friday.
Absolutely.
Up to 69,000. So people would be buying in here not really suspecting that that's a bad idea.
I would consider 70 a psychological barrier anyway, so I personally wouldn't want to buy there myself.
Right. I might call a bottom of 75, and then when I looked at the weekly chart, I thought, I don't like what I see here.
No,
These price measurements are very powerful. So
it's not very promising, is it?
So you're going to have a lot of people bought on Friday, and I see it as a head fake. In other words, people were buying on Friday, and then all of a sudden they're going to realize, hey, wait a minute, I shouldn't have bought. So there's going to be selling pressure on Bitcoin, taking us down eventually. Well, this is a weekly chart. It's going to take quite a while for this to unfold.
Yes, this is true.
But you go to the daily chart, the same thing is obvious. There's the head, shoulder, right shoulder, head, left shoulder, right shoulder, same price measurement. So people will be buying. We have railway tracks there or tweezers. So we did have some buying pressure on Friday, maybe taking us up to the neckline, and then we're going to fall.
I would agree with that. It has to have a bit of a reversal because it's quite oversold here as well, right?
On MACD, you got that.
For sure.
Do you use MACD?
I usually stick with RSI, to be honest with you, but
Well, let's look at our. I sometimes plot that as well. I've gotten to the point now where I only plot MACD because I've done it all my life.
Fair enough. I know it's very popular. It's a great indicator.
I love it, but my teacher, Lennox, just lives down the street. He's taught me to trade without any indicators or moving averages. He says price will tell you where it's going.
That's fair.
So we had railway tracks or tweezers here on the daily chart, which means we're probably going to retrace up to the neck or collar line, and then it's going to go boom. And it's going to catch a lot of people off guard, and they're going to be saying, well, what the hell is going on here? So the other thing I do is I plot moving averages. I'll just plot them now. Just take me a minute to do this. So I plot the 5. That's the 5, and then I plot the moving average exponential. I plot the 21. Let's just do the 21 here. I'll make this one red. So we've got those two, and then I also plot 2 more. They do help to a certain extent. This is going to be the 50, and so we'll do the 50 here. And we'll make this guy pink, just to differentiate it. So we've got the 5, the 21, and the 50, all stacked accordingly, telling us that the daily chart is on its way down.
I would agree, absolutely.
But let's just plot one more for the hell of it. Let's do the 200 here.
Did you ever use Bollinger Bands?
I have in the past, but like I say, I'm straying away from indicators just because my teacher, Lennox, taught me to pay more attention to price action.
Understandable.
Because a lot of the indicators are lagging. They tell you what's already happened.
Yes.
So we're going to paint this one probably green. Oh, I forgot to make this a little bit bigger. So we'll go back there and we'll make this just a little bit bigger. There we go. So this is the daily chart. All the moving averages are stacked in favor of price going down. On the daily chart, we'll go back to the weekly chart and see what we see there. This is the weekly chart. The 200 EMA is still trending up, but the other moving averages are trending down. So the 5, the 21, and the 50 are all trending down. So the 200 just hasn't caught up. So let's go to the 1 minute, because a lot of scalpers would be looking at this on Friday.
True.
And so let's just see what we see. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Less noise there.
5 minutes good too. I usually stick with the 1, the 5, 15, 30, and the hour is usually my go-to.
Those are good. So on Friday, we had a reversal here on Bitcoin. A nice recovery here. And everything was trending up on the 5-minute chart. A lot of people buying into Bitcoin here on the lower level charts because they would tend to see this as a buying opportunity. But then, of course, when you look at let's go to the 30, I'll look at the 30-minute chart. Doesn't look so positive.
No, it's not very promising. I would agree with that.
And then we'll look at the 1-hour chart. 200 is trending down. I really see this as not necessarily a buying opportunity. I would not be buying in here because the trend seems to me to be going down. I also look at the 15-minute chart. Let's look there. And 200 EMA trending down. This doesn't look very promising to me.
No, as a short-term opportunity, perhaps, but I don't really like to buy the rebounds that much anymore.
You don't like what?
I don't like to buy rebounds like this kind of stuff here anymore. Like, if I was going to buy this, I would have bought somewhere right in here and then sold it fairly quickly, right? I would agree. I would say that it's probably going down. Right? So a bit of a correction up in perhaps, but
I'm not saying. Let's put it this way. I'm not saying that. Like this would be a counter trend scalp. The daily chart says we're going down. The 15-minute chart suggests there's some strength in here. You could probably scalp this, but I heard somewhere that the less time in the market, the better.
I agree with that, absolutely.
Because, for example, last week I bought and sold AMD. The day of the earnings coming out, I was interested in AMD from what I saw on the charts. And then a friend of mine said the earnings are coming out after close, and so I said I'm going to do a $1 scalp. Okay. So I did a $1 scalp. I was in and out of AMD before the close, and sure enough, after earnings came out, AMD dropped $20. You have to be careful with earnings. I typically don't like to buy anything going into earnings,
right?
Because earnings it's a gamble. Your earnings might be good, but then the going forward forecast might not be good, and then it's all over the map. So I think that's all we need to talk about on Bitcoin. The story on the weekly chart is I see this going down here too.
I would agree. I would say short-term recovery, and then I'd say it was resume falling after that, for sure.
Yeah, a bit of a head fake up and then down she goes, and then people are going to realize, hey, I shouldn't have bought. So there's going to be some selling pressure, and there will be some shorting going on here. Now, given what I see here, what I did last week was I bought Biddy, and Biddy is if you want to short Bitcoin.
Can you short Bitcoin now?
Yep.
Wow, you couldn't. When I was trading crypto, you couldn't short it.
Biddy is the ProShares short Bitcoin ETF, which means if Bitcoin's going down, it goes up.
Oh, very nice.
So I bought Biddy, I think on Thursday, off the 1-minute chart. Now, granted, I bought it. Where did I buy it? I bought it up here somewhere, which is fine because Bitcoin was going down. I bought it on the upswing. Now it's down, but based on what I see on the weekly chart, Biddy is going to go up.
Interesting.
So you can buy Biddy.
I did not. This is new information to me, actually. I got to be honest.
And now let's go back to the weekly chart. I don't know what happened to the. Oh no, I want to go back to Bitcoin. BTC/USD. USD is Bitcoin. So once Bitcoin gets down to, assuming it's going to get down to 36 and change, then things will probably reverse and become a buying opportunity. Maybe. We won't know until we get there.
Well, this is true. Depends how it looks when it gets there.
But let's suppose we want to buy Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin's pretty expensive even at this low level.
True.
But you can buy Biddy or Bitcoin by buying BITO, B-I-T-O. And Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin on the cheap. You can buy it for right now for $9 and change.
Interesting.
So
I'm going to check that out because I'm not familiar with that. So that's of interest, I would say.
So to short Bitcoin is Biddy, and to buy Bitcoin is BITO.
I see.
So that's how you play Bitcoin. I think right now a lot of people are thinking that Bitcoin is a buy because it's down.
You do get a lot of people saying buy the dip, and that they're pretty excited about that. It seems to be like their go-to strategy. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I don't think that would be the strategy that I would go with. But if it works for them, I suppose there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
But